What's good, everyone? Injured here. Going to be bringing you another Battlerite Gameplay 101 video. Stay tuned to find out how to control the middle orb and see your win rate spike. You may be wondering, why is the middle orb so important? Well, there are two main resources in this game, health and energy. An orb spawns in the middle of the arena that gives you both. If you can control the orb, your chances of winning go through the roof. So, if you feel like you learned something through this video, or maybe it's something that new players need to know, be sure to smash that like button and help the community learn. Before we get started though, I want to highlight a video by 2Lanes. He's another YouTuber who's been doing a lot of really awesome content for Battlerite. He has a really nice video on the combos of how each character can kill the orb, and I want to highlight how to control the orb. So check out his video to get a full picture of how to interact with the orb, and I will put a link in the description for his video. Be sure to check that out after this video. So the question still remains, how do you control the orb? Well, we're going to answer that here today. There are three main ways that I have identified to control the orb. I call those pushes, pulls, and interrupts. Let's take a look at each champion to figure those out. Lucy. Lucy has a couple of ways to control the orb. If you spec into the proper Battlerite in round 1, you can damage and push the orb with her barrier, which is located on her spacebar. However, her main way of affecting the orb is by pushing the orb with Clarity Potion, located on her Q. Use this if needed to move the orb away from the enemies and towards your allies. Sirius. Sirius has a small push at the landing location on his Celestial Split, which is on his space. Also, you can interrupt incoming enemy attacks by standing between the enemy and the orb using Sunrise, which is his counter. Eva. Eva, like Lucy, has the ability to move and damage the orb with her shield if spec'd into it properly with the proper Battlerites. However, her main way to control the orb is through her rocket, which gives her a small pushback, which is located on her M2, and her tractor beam, which is located on her R. Rook. Rook can use the orb with smack located on his R. Sorry, I forgot to record that one. However, his main ways of controlling the orb are with boulder toss on his E and through interrupting the enemy with Berserk, which is his counter on Q. Jade. Jade's main way of control is through her high damage snipe skill. Her control often looks like just destroying the orb before anyone else can. However, she does have one skill to actually control the orb, which is Junk Shot, located on her R. Rukan. Rukan has two main ways of controlling the orb. First, he can pull the orb with Claw of the Wicked, E. Also, he can interrupt the enemy with Consume, located on his Q, by stopping melee and projectiles. Ashka. Ashka has really strong control elements. First, he can use Firewall to stop all incoming enemy projectiles. Next, he has the ability to use Molten Fist, his E, to push the orb a pretty significant distance. And as an honorable mention, he can do great burst damage to the orb using Flame Strike, his Q, and timing any other attack to hit it at the same time. Varesh. Varesh really only has one way of controlling the orb, his Wuju. Wuju can interrupt any incoming attack from the enemy. As an honorable mention though, I'm going to talk about his ultimate, Powers Combined, which can be used to hit the orb to make his ultimate continue triggering the effect. Pearl. Pearl is the queen of controlling the orb. First, she has Tidal Wave, which can be used to interrupt incoming enemy attacks. That's her counter located on Q. This will damage and push the orb away. I know you don't see it here, but trust me, it works. Second, in one single move, you can push the orb and interrupt incoming attacks with the use of her E, Bubble Barrier. Lastly, if you want a larger push and want to scare melee away from the orb, be sure to use her EXE, Unstable Bubble. Taya. Wind Bomb can be used to give you a very small pull. However, her EXQ Zephyr and Q Wind Strike can be used to damage and significantly push the orb. As an honorable message, I feel that I need to talk about her X-Strike, which can do a lot of damage to the orb and likely steal it from most opponents other than Jade. Paloma. First off, her EX Space Soul Transfer does not work on the orb. However, her normal space Spirit Guide does provide a small push. You can use her Ghost Wolf to guarantee a hit that will bounce between enemies and come back to her to heal her if you spec into the proper Battlerites. Also, you can use Spirit Guide to the orb and then use Spirit Rift once you teleport to the orb to try to interrupt nearby enemies and give them a spell lock / fear. Croak. Croak has no way of controlling the orb. However, you can use the orb to extend your invisibility from Deceit by attacking it. Or, you can get the initial heal from Toxic Muck from hitting it. That's your M2. Freya. The main way to control the orb as Freya is through interrupting your enemy with her counter, Electric Shield, located on your Q. You can also get a small push or pull from Thunderclap, which is her E, depending upon which Battlerites you take. Jumong. Jumong is another character offering basically no control over the orb. However, I do want to mention that if you use his EX-M1, which is Seeker Arrow, you can get easy weapon charges as you will be attacking a non-moving target. Shifu. I forgot to show this one again, sorry, but you can use Kunju, which is his counter located on Q, to interrupt enemies' attack. However, most often you will be using his EXE, Harpoon, to pull the orb towards your team to guarantee the kill. Bako. If Pearl is the queen of controlling the orb, then Bako is by far the king. Use your EXE, Shield Slam, to move the orb. However, this may be a waste of 25 energy because you can basically get the same effect by using his normal E, Shield Dash. His spacebar, Valiant Leap, also has a small port towards the center of the location he lands. This does affect the orb and can give you a small pull. Last and certainly not least, use his Q, Bulwark, to interrupt the enemy from getting the orb. You can stop projectile and melee attacks. Uldur. The main way for Uldur to control the orb is through the use of Time Bender on his Q. The second use is his EXQ Chronoflux. This helps repel incoming enemy projectiles. Well, this was Indrid with another episode of Battlerite Gameplay 101. I hope you all learned something from watching this video. Thanks for joining the most positive place in gaming. If you liked the video, please subscribe. Also, hit that like button. I hope to see you in the arena. Have a good day.